Hello again everybody, and a very warm welcome back to episode 3 of the Aerosoft Twin Otter tutorials mini-series that I'm running on the channel. Hope you're enjoying it so far, finding it useful and giving you lots of interesting tips and tricks to master this wonderful aircraft, recently released by Aerosoft themselves. All the links are in the description down below for both the aircraft add-on and the fantastic Orbex scenery that we're making use of today. As always, share your thoughts in the comments below, hit like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, tuning in perhaps for the first time. So we're going to work through an approach and landing into Skiathos, winds flat, so we're going to be landing back on runway 01 over the beach this time. Give the plane spotters some cool things to spot, and we're in this wonderful skydive version of the Aerosoft Twin Otter 2. Loads of variants exist, including ones with floats, amphibious versions, 4 propeller, 3 propeller options, and some Tundra ones too. So, we're thinking about descent. Let's dive into the flight deck. We're just flying around in circles at the moment, and we're using the checklists, the 166-page checklist manual that comes with this aircraft add-on, summarised into a basic set of checks that we can run through. So things might get skipped through and missed over, but in the main, this is all you need to know to enjoy this as much as possible. Now, a little tip that I haven't mentioned so far is you can go into the world map on this add-on inside the sim, and you can plan your route, and it will go into the GNS 530 GPS just there, and you can fly in nav mode and just enjoy the add-on effectively. But we're going to think about landing and approach. So, power to 10 torque for descent. Down it goes. So almost 10. That's 10 now. We've got the pneumatic low pressure warning light. That's because we've opted for a low power setting. Now we need to go up here. We turn the landing lights on, and on the overhead, the taxi light needs to go on. We're going to also want to increase our prop RPM. So full RPM, left and right, we hear the RPM changes. And we can bring our torque back a little bit more because we want to maintain 10 for the descent on both engines for torque. When we're below 100 knots, we want to add flaps. We've got a little way to go yet. And I've actually tuned the Skiathos NDB 326 in the ADF. So we've got the ADF needle helping guide us back towards Skiathos. So we're doing it all visually, because why not? We can kill our rate of descent now quite substantially as well. And we want to aim for about 100 knots if we can. There's Skiathos off in the distance. So we'll kill our climbing while descending, return back to the airfields. And we can trim for the descent. I've got it set to a top hat at the moment, and it makes it a little bit easier for us. You could also tune using the autopilot. You see the little trim and motion light illuminating on the dashboard there. Now my hands are off the controls, so I can enjoy some of the views. I can think about other things down here, setting up for whatever approach I might be doing, getting everything configured basically, or more importantly, grabbing those fantastic screenshots outside. Almost at 100 knots. Just going to bring the nose up ever so slightly. And we're probably just going to add a little bit of power to help reduce that rate of descent too. The nose will naturally pitch up with that. Now we're at 100 knots. And we're about 1,000 feet. That's fine. We're flying visually. We're not doing any instrument approaches. We don't need to worry about altitude checks or anything like that. It is literally Mark 1 eyeball to the ground. Okay, 100 knots, flaps 10. You can hear them going in. Let's bring it back just down more accurately towards 10 for torque for the descent, and we're just going to allow the speed to come off a little bit more as we're now thinking about lining up with the runway itself. Again, I'm no real pilot for the Twin Otter. I'm not type rated on this. There's going to be lots of variations around the world, I'm sure, and people saying, actually, I do this, you should do that. Just find what you enjoy the most in order to successfully fly from A to B. That's the beauty of flight simulation. And if you want to follow the checklists, whether have a basic version like I'm using today, or you want to go step by step through the actual manual, find whatever works for you and whatever you enjoy the most. That's the beauty of this add-on. They've made it so well you can enjoy it, whether you like real serious flight sim or you like to just jump in and give it a go. Approach speed to 80 knots is what we want to target in a minute. We're going to line up with the runway. Try to see if you can actually master a descent all the way in 10 psi. We're in the white arc. Let's go flaps 2. Flaps 20 rather. We might need a bit of power to help counter that drag. And another 85 or so knots, 30. Trying to make tiny adjustments on the throttle, but it's not really working for me with my setup, so I do apologise. Oh, still aiming for about 10. And now we're going to go to full flap. About 75 or so knots for the approach, and we need a bit of power to help hold this profile. Quite a bit more power. We're about 70, 75 knots at the moment. And we did have a crosswind for departure. We've still got a slight crosswind for the arrival.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Touchdown. And if you want to, if you've got props at full RPM, you can use decreased throttle and get that reverse prop working for you as well, but do be careful the nose there doesn't lift, so you might want to put some weight on it and get a bit of power in just before you stop to help prevent you having the nose lift up off the ground. So we've cleared the reverse prop, we're back in forward prop pitch, speed, power, and we're just sort of moving along on a bit of idle now. After landing checks, flaps go up. And we taxi off. And we will park just in front of the terminal. Next phase is going to be shutdown checks, so how to get everything turned off following an abbreviated real-life checklist from Jake, Real Pilot, who sent it to me on Discord. So, park brake on. Bring the prop to feather so we can translate our view across a little bit. We can bring those to the stopper. And then we just go props to feather. Taxi light off. You can hear the aircraft is slowly basically shutting itself down. Like so. Gens 1 and 2 need to come off. Just at the top of the overheads. 1 and 2. And the condition levers then off 1 and 2. When gas gen drops below 10, boost pumps go off. Left and right. And then just DC master off over here. And EXT back to middle. Finished. Door open. And if you want, control locks back in place. And there we go. Shut down in the Aerosoft Twin Otter for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope you've enjoyed this little 3-episode tutorial series, mini-series. Share your thoughts in the comments below, any tips or tricks that you might have learned flying the different variants. Share them with the community down in the comments section. And don't forget to give the video a little like before you head off as well. If you are new to the channel, I'd love it if you hit subscribe whilst you're here too. And of course, check out our new website, britishAvGeek.com, for loads of tutorials, content, VATSIM, tips and tricks, and a whole host of other things. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you in a live stream very soon. Take care.